It's far beyond just being dirty. It's far beyond just needing a reminder. But our condition has become so treacherous under the hand of the white man of America that when God looked at the English language and studied metaphors and parables and similes to find out what parable in English was equal to describing saving black man and woman, there was nothing in the language equal to you and me being redeemed other than the resurrection from the dead. Why? Because the dead man is one that has no activity. The dead is one that has lost their power to function. The dead man is one that has been made a Negro, meaning that they have the ability to exist, but they're not yet alive because their mind is dead. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad still believed that the power of Master Farad Muhammad's wisdom was so great that he could accomplish the task of redeeming all black people. He was working with a little over 17 million potential converts. And he believed that with the wisdom that he received and his belief in it, that he could accomplish the task of getting all of the 17 million poison and rusty locks cured in 6 months. Little did he know that 40 years later, he'll still be working on them brains and them minds that were under the parable of poison and rusty locks. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he first began to teach, he stood up to teach the wisdom, but there were other people teaching the wisdom too. Many people that taught the wisdom were more articulate. Many people that taught the wisdom had been in Islam longer than he had been. But he asked the ministry class, Master Farad Muhammad, upon his departure, he said to them, I would like for you to pick the one that would be in my stead. And all of the ministers picked their one. And he said, I've let you pick yours, now I want you to let me pick mine. He said, Brother Kareem, come forward. Your name will not be Elijah Kareem anymore. I want you to be Elijah Muhammad. And you will be my supreme minister. And you will represent me to the world. And all of these that are my helpers will now be your helpers. None of them stood with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. None of them stood with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. His own biological brother orchestrated a conspiracy to murder his own brother, a man by the name of Kalat. Made a move to attempt to assassinate his brother. But his brother had so much love for the mission, so much love for his own brother, that instead of doing what we would have done, now what would you do if somebody trying to kill you? You would have said, with the few people that was your partners, hey, look here. Nigga trying to set us up. And he already got his mind fixed. He's going to kill me. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get him before he get me. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't go after his brother, nor after any of the hypocrites. He went on the run, didn't he? He made them follow him everywhere that he went. And there were soldiers coming up around him. There were warriors by nature that said to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, look, just say the word. See, that's the reason why the United States government is afraid to really mess with Farrakhan. Because there's thousands of soldiers, male and female, in the mosque and not in the mosque, that if Farrakhan says the word, whoever he says the word against in a suggestion form, your behind will be wiped off the face of the planet Earth in broad daylight with no remorse. All praise is due to Allah. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not that type of man. Neither is the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. So they said, we can get rid of this problem. He said, no, I don't want you to do any harm to any of them. He said, I'm going to stay on the run. And I'm going to wear them down. And after they get too tired to chase me anymore, I'll turn around and teach them. Look at the love of that type of man. Look at the heart of a messenger of God. This is before the palace. This is before we had farmland. This is before we had Mas Mariam. This is before we had a Muhammad University. This is before we had yours produce and yours dry cleaning. This is before we had H&G white and fish distribution all over America. This is before we had an $80 billion empire. This is whenever the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was poor. And even in a state of poverty, he never turned to kill no brother or sister. Out of love for them. He let them chase him and then he wore them down, and then whenever they got tired, he turned around to teach them. That's called bulletproof faith. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, after struggling with the masses of our people, was dissatisfied and disappointed at the degree of change that was taking place in those that he was teaching and training. So he said that, I'm through with the mission. I've been teaching long enough, it ain't working, I quit. And he got on a train, planning to head out of the country to go be for self. Have any of you ever felt like that before? Well, you felt like that this week at certain points. Huh? Black people are hard to deal with. Are we special? We the craziest people ever lived. Oh man, the white man might have killed 600 million people in the last 6,000 years, and he's the biggest killer. Pound for pound, no. Pound for pound. The so-called American Negro is the craziest human being ever walked the earth. Ain't nobody more special than us. So, he was on a train. And as the wheels began to turn, you know how a train chugs. Shoot, shoot, shoot. He said every time the wheel turned, he heard Master Farad Muhammad's voice telling him to go back, return to the mission. And he couldn't even make it that far. As soon as he got off the train, the FBI was waiting on him. See the way that God worked with him? Now, if you and me were testing somebody, we'd have said, here's a man getting ready to quit already. My primary man. I'm going to give him a break. Master Farad Muhammad didn't give him a break. He convinced him to stop and get off. As soon as he got off, he locked him up. Huh? For years. Away from his family. Incarcerated. Y'all with me? Master Farad Muhammad and the messenger, or the messenger was being experimented on. He was being tested and tried, put through circumstances and situations to develop bulletproof faith. So after all of that, whenever the Honorable Elijah Muhammad went before the judge said to him, Elijah Muhammad, I hear that you are trying to make your people Muslims. And he said, yes, this is true. And the judge started laughing. He said, but your people are in love with drinking. They love smoking. They love wild behavior. They love fornication and they love gambling. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it has been that way. He said, Mr. Muhammad, trying to make your people Muslims is like putting pants on an elephant. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I got one pant leg already on. Never did he deny, never did he turn down the potential of the redemptive process that Master Farad Muhammad gave him, or the potency of the medicine that he had in his mind and his mouth to redeem the black man and woman. Served his time, got out and